practicing social distancing. Yeah, you see, we'll call this 12 Feet Apart, episode 2B.
You know how they usually say March comes in like a lion and leaves like a lamb? And was like, this year, March was like, I'm not leaving like no lamb. I'm just going to be a lion all month.
A terror. March has been such a terror.
Wow.
Nobody was kidding when they said that 2020 would present us with great vision. And with great vision, we have been seeing so much caca.
Yes, a lot of things moving too quickly.
But we wanted to talk to you about something that is really concerning us. And in particular, for those of us who listen, because we know we have listeners who work in government, who are elected officials, who are maybe around the ear of people effecting policy. I want to share with you a concern that I have, a concern my sister has, a concern that all of us have, many of us have secretly, but a lot of us are too ashamed publicly to really admit what this fear is. So here it goes. Ready?
Ready.
My concern, my biggest fear right now with all of this hysteria that's happening with the COVID-19 coronavirus is that New York, being quote unquote the epicenter of the United States of this virus, whether you believe it or not, that's not what I'm questioning here. What I'm questioning is this conversation about vaccines, right? So how can we have a vaccine when we don't really know what the heck this is?
Right. And how could the vaccine be ready so quickly, or almost ready this quickly?
Yeah.
I mean, don't vaccines require a really good amount of time to develop?
And not for nothing, but like we've been talking at Cafecito Break for years now about some of the vaccines that we already do take, like the flu vaccine that's on the IG TV and on our feed, like what's in a flu shot vaccine, for example. A lot of questionable ingredients. There's a lot of questionable ingredients in the HPV vaccine. There's questionable ingredients in some of the vaccines the kids have gotten that have led to so many parents questioning whether or not their kid has been damaged by the system, right?
Right.
And so now we find ourselves in a situation where many of us, rightfully so, might feel panic. But when we are in panic, we don't tend to respond. We tend to react. And so this is coming from a very serious place. And it is in relationship to vaccinations. My biggest fear is that we're going to be test buddies. We already saw what happened with the measles outbreak and how certain places started getting quarantined and how some people weren't even, or kids, or if maybe Alex, you could fill me in if you remember more what really happened with the kids and not being allowed in school, or they wanted to get them vaccinated in order to get them back in school. It's just crazy because I don't want anything in my system, and I'm not going to say yes to anybody putting anything in anybody's system that may have contaminants, may have other things that are not needed, has not been appropriately tested. And if I'm going to be a conspiracy theorist, we don't know if it's going to have any nanotechnology that could be spying on us inside.
Nanotechnology.
Ooh, I just really brought it to you there. Now,
special word there.
Alex, would you like to say anything else in closing?
Just that I too, do feel worried, or, certainly being a New Yorker and living within the epicenter, that down the pike will be the best testing ground for even a potential forced vaccination. And for me, especially, with all the points you brought up in the last few years, the examples we've seen, I just feel like it is important that we have these discussions, that we bring up these questions. It doesn't matter what side of what opinion you hold within these major topics. I know they're very emotional. I know that especially during these times, it triggers a lot for people, but I just feel like it's important to reiterate what you were saying earlier. During times of high stress, high anxiety, a lot of question marks, it's so easy to just go with the flow. It's so easy to just yes, whatever's coming down the pike from our lawmakers, from society. And I just feel like it's also our responsibility to ourselves, to our children, to our community, to make sure that we're being as vigilant as possible, to make sure that we're, again, having these conversations, that we're asking these questions, and that we're holding space for these questions and these opinions to be shared fairly. This is our health.
This is our health. Thank you for reminding me about that very important part, holding space for conversations, because every single time people like us bring up this conversation, we get shamed. We get freaking shamed, or we get called crazy, or people want to just throw names at us. We are not crazy. I think you already know us. We've built our two businesses or two platforms based on just really cultivating relationships and trust and always reminding you guys, like, let's ask questions, let's see the motivation. Let me tell you what we haven't been seeing. I don't know about you, but I haven't exactly been hearing so many recommendations from the government that speak to natural approaches. Have you? Or am I like bugging out? And I'm there watching things every single day glued.
None.
So also keep in mind, like, see who's standing next to who's in their pockets. Like, maybe certain people have all these understandings about pharmaceutical medicines, but let's not forget that although pharmaceutical medicines can be helpful, they're not exactly natural 100%. They're chemicals that our bodies still respond to. So you're telling me, if anything, we, the community, we need to start making more noise about, I want to hear all the solutions, and I want to hear what are the natural approaches. Like a lot of people say vitamin C, for example. Now, mind you, we're not here, we're not doctors, so this is not a conversation I get into. What I'm saying is that if we should have choice, just like they're saying, if you don't have any symptoms, don't ask for a test that could go to somebody that really has the symptoms. What I'm saying is, because people, with good intentions, you pave the road to hell. And with good intentions, somebody might, in the sweetest part of their heart, be like, let's protect all of the citizens and get everyone vaccinated. No, because you're taking people's freedoms away, and not everybody wants that. I don't want to be poked. I'm sorry.
Especially if that gets delivered without not showing us the other options.
Absolutely.
It's one thing if everything's being kind of set up for you in the best way possible, because obviously this is new territory for all. If we're kind of getting the full picture, well, this is what we can provide medically, this is what we can provide naturally, these are all the options. And also allow people the opportunity to understand what these options are, rather than to just be like one way or the freaking highway.
Right, and to make your own decisions, right? Because if a vaccine is determined to be helpful, well, if some people want to take the vaccine, who am I to stop you? But there should be something that is, if you want to take it. And I'm sorry, things are moving around here way too quickly. In 1 week, the world looks different. Now, if you look back into our videos on March 7th, we don't like alarming people, but on March 7th, we pulled the trigger. Maybe that's a bad choice of words, but we activated like the alarm, and we're like, guys, start prepping. And even on March 7th, which was not too long ago, people in our inner circle were laughing at us, calling us conspiracy theorists, or you guys are exaggerating.
And then here we are today, about to go into New York State. New York State is about to go into the stay at home. The
stay at home. And I know that many of you are scared, guys. We're not going to lie and tell you that we're not concerned, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, we as a community, we have our intelligences, our sixth sense, our intuition, right? And a lot of times we can be conditioned into believing that we are sick just because we're watching it over and over and over again. The other day I went food shopping, and just the vibe that was in there, I started to even question, am I getting sick? And when I left and I shook it off me, it was just the vibe in there. Remember, we're also energetic creatures, and we feel into each other, and we're getting fed this constant diet of fear. and worry and concern. And hello, guess what? It creates a beautiful territory to come in. It's like you're inviting things to come in.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're inside a metaphysical healing space. This is when you go to like have these conversations about grounding, tapping in, tuning in. And at the same time, being here has taught us the importance of really being connected to your intuition, to your truth. And it's in times like these, guys, that a lot of things, because people are nervous and people are hysterical, that a lot of things get enacted that are not to the benefit of the people and to our collective health. And that is our ultimate concern. So please stay vigilant. Again, if you are in policy making, if you are friends with politicians, I'm just going to leave you with one thing, and I'm not even going to describe it. Research Event 201. Research it. Research it. We're not even going to tell you anything else. Just research that and just let's see if that puts any little question marks into your head. I love you guys. This is Rosangel Pérez.
This is Alex Perez. Take care, mi gente. We love you. And honestly, we've been feeling so good to do these videos as a way to connect with you, bring up these topics, but also as a check-in, letting you know that, again, we are all in this. We're all learning to process this every day anew, just like you. And we hope to continue this journey with you in the best ways that we can. And please stay grounded. Please stay rooted. You know, do not forget to reach out towards, you know, send your prayers, talk to your guides. You know, none of us walk alone. Like my sister was saying, we got to walk these days balancing and trusting our intuitive intelligence as well as our mental intelligence. We need to work with both these days more than ever.
This is the truth, mi gente. Thank you so much. This is our last day here. We're closing up until further notice. And so please send us prayers, guys, too, because we are a small business. This directly impacts us. We're moving on to online. And if you haven't figured out already, Cafecito Break is our other job. So if you find value in these videos and the things that we share, and you are okay, you would love to honor us with a little gratitude donation, we will accept it. PayPal.me/Cafecito Break. Everything helps. Your likes, your subscribes, your well wishes, your testimonials. Let's stay connected, okay? We love you. We'll see you soon. Ciao.